All right, now to the final part of Blender. We have collisions, and so let's show the whole thing. And you see here we have this little ghost-looking car. Hide that for now. No, not that one. This one. It's looking like a ghost or whatever it is. We just hide that one for now. And now we have this cone mesh thing, which is like a really low quality mesh that covers only the top and bottom. This is the standard collision model that works in tandem with the rest, which is the balls. These balls just, you know, they indicate what part. I think some of these are bumpers, some of these are trunk, but anyways, what we need to do here is just move the dummies around so that, move the collision spheres around so that they are at the correct size of the car. Do not scale them, just move them. And so let's start with the first thing, which is the cone mesh. And before we go, be sure to check the materials screen so that we have the correct materials, because on some cars they have really broken materials. I think the Sentinel has one where they had like incorrect materials to the point that you can't shoot the glass, and when you walk on the car it sounded like grass, not the glass. I mean grass, like touch grass, touch grass. I don't know, the plants, they sound like plant because they're wrong material. But this one is correct, the Primo is correct, and so we just need to move this one to the size of the car. That should be done. And now we move the sphere into the car. Not all the way. It's like, again, like let's say like 70% into the car should be good. I think it's around that. Something like this, 60%, 70%, all good, no problems. This the door should be moved forward a little bit. I think it's a little too far back. Something like this should work. And then the front as well, as you can see, they are a little too far forward, so we just move them in. Now don't worry about the spheres forking out. Most San Andreas cars are like this. They don't really, when you walk on the cars, you will know that they're like bumps, invisible bumps always. But yeah, it's essentially how it works. It's a 1 increment. Okay, that's good. One increment in the same scale. Oh, not. Yeah, 1 increment. All good. And now we have the final thing for real. We have the shadow model. Now, the shadow model is the thing that, like, when you turn the in-game graphics to very high by default, you will have the stencil shadow models, which are 3D, and the models are essentially this. It's like it's flipped inwards for whatever reason, and it should be smaller than the car by like 5%, because if it is the same scale as the real car, there will be problems with the Z fighting, where you can see like shadows flickering on the body of the car. We don't want that. We want it to be smaller than the car. And so the model itself is like a low quality, low polygons version of the car. And the best way to achieve this is to just go and open up an old save of the car where the parts aren't like separated like this yet. This one, maybe. Oh, number 5, number 6. Let's do number 6. No, let's say number 5 actually. Yeah, number 5 has the final model. Okay, we can now open up an old model. For me, it's number 5. Save it as a new copy, as the shadow model. And then we just delete the blueprint because we don't need it. And now we can just now create a low polygon version from this. And so first of all, just select the views only, and then we separate it for now. Now I have the rest of the model. Don't apply the mirror yet. Now we just need to create a low quality version of our car. And I'll just speed it up and show the final results, and you'll see what kind of quality we need. So and there we go. We have the whole car complete, but not done yet. We're gonna select all of them and shade smooth like this. We just can we just apply? No, we're not. We have this shade smooth thing done, and now we're gonna be adding the bottom. So basically, make sure that there are no holes on the whole car, and also clear sharp on every single edge. Clear sharp. Make sure that everything is connected. No holes, no anything. Which means we also need to connect the bottom of the car. So we just move this to increment mode, absolute grid snap, and just move it to the middle of the car, basically, for all vertices on the sides. Now we can just line up like this. There we go, and we just fill it up. And now we also need to add a little bit of a low quality view. That's why I leave this here, because we still need to line it up a little bit. And so we just add like a cylinder, maybe really low quality, like maybe 6 sides. Yeah, 6 sides, and rotate the y-axis 90 degrees. Yep. Not 6 sides. Let's try 7. No, 8. Yeah, 8 sides actually. 8 sides, and then we get it down like this to the size of the wheels, and just also like this. And now we need to cut them in half, actually. Just join them together and cut them in half. We only need the bottom side, and fill up the hole, obviously, that's important. Fill it up. Triangulate this stuff. Okay. Triangulate this one. It doesn't matter, the rest. And now we select it, and also move it into the car a little bit so that it doesn't poke out. And now we also need to duplicate it for the rear side, rear views. We can extend this up a little bit because it's yeah. Make sure there's no holes, no like gaps, no anything. And select all, shade smooth. And then we apply all of the this, all of the material, not material, modifiers, and also delete the old view. We don't need it now. And there we go. We have the shadow model. So name it shadow. The shadow model. And now we can just export it to the let's export obj. It doesn't really matter. Obj into the folder. And now we can go back to our latest file. We imported obj. Oh, here it is. There's one already there. Oh, here it is. Shadow. Okay, not linked. Shadow. As you can see, it's wrong side, and of course, rotate 180 degrees in the edit mode. Grab it up. Select all faces. Flip the normals. There we go. And then we join this one to the, okay, move it up a little bit more, actually. And then we join this to the shadow model, which is the one that we're showing here. It's like a ghost car. Join it back. And now we have the material. Is the same material? Yeah, same material. Okay, same material, whatever. Delete the old one. Boom. And now, okay. Go to X-ray mode before delete, of course, so that it's clean. Delete it. And now we can line it up to our car. I don't know what the scale was, but yeah, 5% should be good. And now we move it to line up with the wheels like this. It doesn't have to fully line up. It doesn't matter. Just make sure it doesn't poke out on anything. Like this, same height with the wheels. And now make sure that there are nothing poking out of the model except in the wheels, but of course that doesn't matter. Just make sure things like this doesn't exist. So this is fine because it's not okay. That's fine. Make sure there's nothing poking out like the corners like this or like out the window, so that you don't have weird shadows coming out. And I guess that's it. And here we have the collisions done, which means the car is ready for exporting. That's right, guys. We're finally at the point that we can start putting it in game. Of course, we have some data lines to deal with, but yeah, we have the export now. And so we can, first thing to do is save it, and now delete everything else that's not part of the car, not under TFF. Delete it. Oh. Delete hierarchy. There we go. And now we can select TFF, export TFF. Okay, wait. Before we go export, we need to also go through, I think, not this, to the export options. Where is it? Here. Okay, I think I explained it a while back, but basically, in each object, we need to tick this option, go to the object data properties, object properties for each object, select the chassis, go here, and here is the options we need. Export object, export normals, ticked, export custom split normals, tick, export bin mesh PLG, again, it's not necessary, only tick it if you need it for other TFF files, viewer, like C modeler or something. We don't need it, so untick it for a better file size. Tick lighting, tick modulate material color, untick vertex color day and night, tick UV map 1 and 2, and check every single thing. But I think I went through this already, that we have all of them in the correct settings. And so, and once you add the new light materials, there's one thing you also need to check, is that when you duplicate from this non-functional lights that they have this SkyGFX material settings. When you duplicate stuff in Blender, duplicate materials, the settings don't really carry over. So you actually need to apply these settings to the material of this as well for each like side material, you know. So we just screenshot this page and keep it up like this so we can see the settings, and then we pick each light, the right front one, and we just insert the value like this one. So environment xv equal env 128 and one coefficient, reflection 1 1 1 1.15 and specular at 0.30. Texture would be vehicle spec dot 64. I think I've gone through this process at some point, but yeah, when you copy material to make the new light ones that are functional, you still have to add the colors and also change the settings like this. So yeah, so we have to do this on all 4 different light sets. So yeah. And when you apply this stuff, if they're spread into 2 parts, like, you know, you have one on the chassis and one on the trunk, you only need to do this once because the materials are carried over to this one as well. But of course, once per side. So there we go. Now we have finished the light materials. Also, I think I forgot about this. You need to add triangulation modifier to each part so that the normals retain themselves when you export and import to the game. Because if you don't actually like have the triangulation modifier, sometimes you have like some janky reflection and normals that maybe only affect one side for some reason. I'll probably put like 1 or 2 screenshots up and you see why you need to add the triangulation. So just start with the chassis. Of course, we're gonna expand hierarchy to do each part for this. Select the chassis, go to the modifier menu, add modifier, triangulate. It's in the generate section. The order should be below weighted normals, and go here. The settings, just keep chord method, n-gun method, minimums. What is this? Whatever. Just keep the default settings, except for one thing, which is keep normals. Tick that so that you can actually keep the normal. I'll show it right here. You see, this side looks smooth, but this does not look smooth. And this is what happens in game without the triangulation modifier. And when you apply it, it will actually look like this in game, which means whatever adjustments we did to the normals in Blender will be kept. I'll show another section that really is like different. I see the hood here. I add the triangulate. Basically, if you don't have the triangulation modifier, it will look like this in game. You see this little. You see, this side looks normal, smooth, but this side looks like a little bit dark for some reason. Yeah, it's a problem. You need to add the triangulation and keep normals, and you have to do this for all objects basically. So yeah, bonnet okay, bonnet them. Just all objects that are visible except the wheels. Do not touch the wheels. We applied the modifiers earlier. Keep them as it is. It should be good now. Should be fine. So yeah, we can add triangulation for each object now. Now, as for the chassis below, it's up to you to add it or not. I will just add it for just in case. It doesn't really matter. And again, as I said, don't touch the wheels. Leave them as is. It's fine. So there's another thing before you export that I actually forgot to include. This is after I exported already a long time. But for some export, when you have the car in game, like the textures can go white sometimes, and that's caused by some materials. If you go into the materials settings, you click here on the base color, and this is the name of the texture. You can see that at the end of the texture name, there's are some numbers in them, and this can cause a lot of problems with the texture not being rendered in game properly. And well, there's a quick way to just ensure that that doesn't happen is to just, first of all, you delete all extra object in the scene, you know, all the blueprints and another car or another stuff that you don't need, and then you save the file and restart Blender and come back. And when you do that, all the unused materials should go away. And then you hide the car, create a new object, a cube maybe, and then you start adding the material slot to the cube, and you select like each material. Of course, I'm gonna save to another file. Go through each object and go to the base color, and just, you know, unless there are no, like, if there are the non-numbered versions, just use it instead of the numbered versions, because this can help prevent the car from having rendering issues in game. You know, the texture not showing up stuff. This one doesn't have numbers, so no need to change. So basically, just go through all the materials and make sure there are no numbers. Here, this is the first one that has a number. It uses not .03. Just change it to the one that doesn't have number at the end, basically. And now all the materials, I have gone through all the materials. I just delete the cube. And now onto the export part. Select the DFF, export DragonFF DFF to your folder. Name it same as the collection, like right there, as the ropey.dff. Only selected. Oh, there's no need to stick that. Export collision, yes, not mass export. And drum roll, click it, go and check. Okay, well, that's a shame. That's my personal things. But anyways, go and check into the folder, the file size. Drum roll, as ropey, yes. The file size should be around 200 to under 500 kilobytes. It depends on the car, but this should be the correct file size. And clap yourself something, clap to yourself. Appreciate that now we have the model out after months of maybe stalling real life work or something like me. Anyways, just close it without saving. And now we can create a texture file. Let's use the primo.txt. Copy it, rename it to the same name as the ropey. Open it up with what is it? Magic TXT. I think I made a custom interior. Okay, yes. If you have a 2D view, then there will also be like a wheel texture. If you don't need it, just delete it. But anyways, we have this thing. We just replace it here. If you need a new texture, press add, replace, just replace. And that's not the folder. It is in as a ropey Blender. This one. Just copy the name as well. Copy the name. Replace it here. These are the options. Scaled. Compress DXT, I think. Is it DXT1? Just DXT1 is fine. But tick generate mipmaps. Just tick it. And replace. And save the file. And now the file is ready. Files, I mean. They have the DFF for the model, TXT for the interior texture. The rest of the texture is in the game files. No need to copy them. And now we just need to adjust some data lines and we can test them in game. Let's go. All right. So next step is to get the data lines created, and so I'm gonna drop a link in the description for all the softwares that you're required to download, and also a way to add the car into the game using mod loader, so that there's a tutorial on GTA forums, and you guys can follow it in there. Maybe I could make a video explaining how to do it as a video, but for now, just read the forum post to see how I add the car into the game. But anyways, to add the car, I'm just gonna first of all create a mod loader folder for the game. So I'm going to the game right now. Where's it? Mod loader folder. Here I copy it to the folder. I just rename stuff. Send sRobbie. I don't think there is an sRobbie in my copy. Just gonna add the car into the game with my own method. I don't think there is an sRobbie in the game, so it's fine. So these are the essential lines that you need. First thing first, carcols, which is the car color. So I'll just bring over the primo lines and just actually we don't need a primo. We just create a new line, and I'll drop the link in the description for the color, the car colors. So let's see here, car colors, and also you should just search up like a site where they tell us what color is used on the car. So in my case, Toyota Camry, and of course, if you have dark mode on your browser, turn it off. And guess we have a white one. Number 1. Okay, 1 is the primary color. 1 here is the secondary color. The car doesn't have secondary, so it doesn't matter what is behind the number 1. So yeah, we didn't assign the second color. Then crimson red. Let's get 17. Keep in mind that in game it will look different from what you see here on the site because of the graphics, depending on what mod you install. Sometimes or just not, even without the graphic mods, they will look a little different from here because of all the texture. Let's say light blue, get 118 maybe. Yeah, 118. In San Andreas, you can have up to 8 sets of colors, so we can fill it up with something else. Let's get something like that. 99 could work. Deep red. That's a 66 maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Up to 8 slots, so we need some more filler. I guess we're gonna add some non-real color. 52, I guess. And maybe like a blue something. 100. It's gonna be bland. And then we have the car mods, which is the tuning parts that we're gonna have on the in Transfender. So let's close these tabs. So open up where is the modding? Here we go. We have the modding, and here are the lists. They only have names, but from the files that we imported to Blender, remember those tuning that we exported and tested? If you write down the names, then you would see which one would fit, and a few more. And of course, you gotta go into Carmods.dat in the data folder, data folder in the game directory. I forgot to show you. It's in the game folder data, and all the files are in here. And so in the Carmods.dat, we have a couple. These are the mods that are compatible with the car that I just made. Because of the dummies I added, we have the nitrous, hood scoops, exhaust, side skirts, spoiler, and roof vents. And these are the prefix of the parts that we need. And _B is Transfender Shop. And these are all the parts. NTO, BNT, EXH, WG_L, SPL, RF, and all that. You can play around with this stuff, but from from another car, a similar sized car I took. These are all the parts I am gonna be adding for the option of the SROP. Okay, so next file, real quick, we have handling file, which is it's basically how the car drives. And we can just take this stuff from something similar. I'm gonna take the Primo because it's another Camry. And we copy to here as the row P, all in all caps on this one. And most likely you can leave the rest to function, and I'm gonna change this one to front wheel drive. I will leave a link in the description for the site where you can learn about handling lines and what each setting does. But one thing that's important, well, first thing of course is what I just changed, which is the drivetrain, which is at the Q, which would be here, Q, here. R is rear wheel drive, but since the Camry is front wheel drive, I'll change to F, as you can see, F. And I think the rest, this is transmission. I think 4 is correct. I can double check, of course. Let's see what the Camry uses. It's Camry uses 4 and 5 speed. I'm gonna just make it 5. It doesn't matter. 5 speed. This is top speed and acceleration. The rest I don't really know much. Again, I don't know much either. Maybe one day I can make a video explaining what each value does. I need to learn them. But the most important part is you go back here. We have model flags and handling flags. If you don't change these things, the car can absolutely not function properly. And you can scroll down here. This is how it works. It's like hex value or something, and they're like backwards. Let's say you want like a let me do the example for my own car, of course, if there's any. This one is the seat animation. This is default, so leave it there. Bonnet default, doors default, exhaust. Let's say my car has a double exhaust, right? You would think you would write something like this one, 0004, right? Because it's number 4. But no, it's not how it works. It's like backwards. It counts from 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. So you have to write like 4. So no, 0, 0, 7, 6, 5. The 4 in the 4th slot. It's something like this basically. But since my car doesn't have dual exhaust, I will need to change it. And of course, it's better to change in here because we have the lining up stuff, you know, AF, AG, and all that. AXO, no change. No. Yeah, none of these are required for my car, and this is one. Let's see. No. No. This is the wheel size. Wheel size might be important depending on your car, of course. And then, yeah, that's the same. Hydraulic, it's like not necessary for a normal car. So I think none of these are required. So my car actually is, I'm lucky enough to not have to mess with this stuff. And we also have the light stuff. We have light types. I don't know where this is. Maybe we have to test it ourselves. But anyways, I think the handling line, other than the wheel drivetrain, it's fine. Okay. And the last not the last, but another important file is vehicles.ide, which is basically the ID set that makes sure that it actually spawns in game. So we can go to Primo again because we're using that anyways. We copy, assign a free ID. Again, go read the forums post, and it will the guy will explain what we are doing. But for my own, I think that's 18776. That's my free ID, and then rename the stuff. This is the file, TFF, and then TXD, and then handling. And this one is a name key where you can only go up to 7 letters. Don't make more, or otherwise it won't work. And then the rest we have this pet. I think it's like pets that drive it. And then you have, I don't know what this is. some car type. But the one that's also kind of important is the one that's like comp rule. So the third set of numbers is, or like the letters. This can like do a lot of stuff, but still I don't know how they work yet, other than you see a few of my muscle cars where you have like alternating loops, and one of my like most used comp rule is 1F110, where it requires that all extra will spawn, or at least every car will spawn it with one extra, and but my car doesn't have an extra, so it doesn't matter. And then the rest not matter much, other than this dual sets of numbers. You can see here our wheel size. This two sets of number is the wheel size, and to get the correct wheel size and so that the car doesn't float or sink, we open up Blender into the car again. We reopen it. Just give me a second. I have a hard drive, guys. Kind of slow. Come on. Okay. We select the wheel. You click on this arrow, and you see here 0.714. That's the dimensions, and so we round it to 0.71 basically. So 0.71, 0.71. There we go. We have the wheel size. We can close this file, and additionally, of course, this is my car spawner. We have the assign ID, and also here we assign the spawning group. And here I'm gonna add my own car in this group. So let's see. Let's add it to business group so that it spawns in the traffic. And here are the car sounds, of course, to do with my own copy, where I use this method to add the car. So I need the car sound lines for it to have a sound. And I think we should be able to just, spawn the car in game now. So let's go. All right, we're gonna be testing the car in game now. So I'm just gonna load the save. Give me a second. Just a tip, by the way, if you're testing a lot of car mods, just save at the Doherty garage, because it is next to the trans vendor, so you don't have to spend much time driving to the mod shop. It's pretty quick. And here we go. We have the car. Very nice. It looks to be functional. First thing I like to test is usually the damage part, so I just punch the car in different places. Okay. Just punch.
Show me what you're hiding down there.
And shoot. Yep, the windscreen works, and the gas pedal works. Okay. Another thing that I like to do is cycle through to see different colors if they match. And for my purposes, this should work. And then next up, I just take them into the shop, the mod shop, see if the parts that I have assigned them match or not. So let's get in. Okay, we have colors. Just give it a poopy color, and the hood works. Exhaust, nitrous. Just pick the 5X because they are the biggest one. They're like huge ones because the 10X are smaller. 5X is most likely to be sticking out the rear window if they didn't line the dummy in the right place. And the roof, and the spoilers, light skirts, work, the wheels, of course, are automatically assigned to every car. And there we go. And then we just, what I like to also test is that it's like when I install SkyGFX and I can toggle between default graphics, default reflection, and I think that's called like Neo or like PS2 reflections, whatever, because on different setups there can be some different results, especially to do with this is especially more important between the glass where you have transparency and the steering wheel, because sometimes when you export it and you will not be able to see the steering wheel from the rear window. That's why I separated to the glass object, because that's my own way of dealing with this problem. It happens a lot. But also we can just I use amazing screenshot to look around if the parts actually fit, and they seem to be. Now we just maybe go driving. We're just gonna go driving to just crash the car again. Okay. You see that the hood bonnet seems to be rotating, same with the spoiler, so that means that our dummy is applied correctly. And so, yeah. Also, we're gonna test the light, if they work properly. There we go, with front. Yep, this. And the trunk doesn't work because I didn't assign them. Of course, you crash into the car. So this is why I picked the automatic garage for the test. Because it has like almost everything that I need to test. Okay, we can test the light again. There we go. They seem to work. Very good. The last thing I test is I go to Los Santos in Grove Street, so that I can test passengers. Of course, I'm doing this without like a trainer or something. If you have a trainer, you can just spawn in pets, but I'm doing this without mods, basically.
You gonna represent the set now,
Just
homie?
hire the
Stop
Grove
acting
Street
about
family
your mama. Put some work in, homeboy.
and get in the car. Get in. Maybe they should get in now. Okay, there we go.
Okay, get in, get in, get in.
Alright, and then we can use the screenshot mod to see if they poke out the heads. It doesn't matter that it goes through the headliners. What's important is that it doesn't poke through the roof. And it seems to work. And we have the feet. Yep, feet. Again, it goes through the floor, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't go through to the ground, which is good. Of course, there would be, if the car is small, there would be some problem with like some other pets. Like I think the Afro pet is annoying in this front, or the fireman if they steal a car. But that of course doesn't really happen in normal gameplay. It's up to you and how you play it.
This is my kind of speed.
Maybe we go around and test the animations to see if they actually shoot properly. So I'm just gonna...
You can't drive for shit.
Well, I guess this is also a test driving. Of course, when you first launch into a game, there will be problems. You're gonna have to troubleshoot them all the time. So if you have some questions and maybe like some bugs that you find, you just comment it down below and I'll try my best to help fix the problems. But there's also stuff about the handling lines, which again, just go to the link in the description to Project Severa or something, and you guys can try and tinker the lines, because I'm not very knowledgeable on this subject either. I'm not very good at the handling lines, so yeah, I'm gonna go test the animations for the shooting now. Let me get to the ballers territory. So there we go, we have some ballers.
Hey, what's this? A snail, boy?
Seems to work. Okay. Alright, so that's it for the tutorial series for San Andreas car, law-friendly car. And it's been a few months. It took a while, but finally we're here at part 9, the final part of the basic tutorial. So if you have any questions and if you find any bugs on your own car, just put it down in the comments section. And after this, maybe I'll put like upload like a small update video later, and I'll maybe go through the plans for the rest. Maybe you have like some smaller things that I could cover later. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe if you like the content. Support me via Patreon and all this stuff. Check out my workshop on GTAF forums and all that. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later.